Let's talk a little bit about joy. What joy means and how you can work on discovering joy within yourself and in a fast way. So, before I dig any deeper into this, I wanted to break down a couple of things that I pulled from the word joy. So, joy is your well being, joy is success, joy is contentment. So, those three words can be extracted from joy, and those are things that bring you joy or can be a source of joy. So, for example, um, contentment means joy, and that means satisfaction. So, are we satisfied with our lives? Joy can also mean success, and I've broke that down as you define your own success, and that's how you get joy from that. Doing what you love. Of course, people say if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Now, we know that we do work, even if it's something that we love, but you can pull joy from that. And lastly, the well-being. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into the well-being part because I think this will be very helpful. But from the aspect of well-being is your health, peacefulness, and mental stability. So the purpose of this video is to help you to get that joy back in your life as fast as possible. Now, of course, this is a process, but if you listen to this information and start to incorporate it in your day-to-day life, then you will have more joy surrounding your life, regardless of whatever is going on, circumstances or situations. Hey beautiful, it's Tiara, and I create safe spaces for women to grow. As a wife, a mother of 4, and Army combat veteran, I know what it's like to lose myself in service to others, but I also know the freedom of finding my voice and walking confidently into my purpose. So in this space, I share strategies with you that can help you rediscover who you are and what you want in the season of your life. So let's talk a little bit more about joy and the aspect of well-being. So, are you at peace currently with how things are in your life? Now, I understand, and we all know that life will never be perfect. Conditions will never be perfect. But can we be at peace with how things are? Things are going to be rocky. Things are going to be smooth sometimes, stable sometimes, and sometimes it's going to be all over the place. But the joy that we have within that nothing or no one can take away, that's what I want you to hold on to. So being at peace, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have challenges, that you're not going to have things that you have to face. But what that means is, in the midst of the things that are going on, can you maintain your mental stability, your mental soundness, do what you have to do, and get back to what normal is for your life right after you finish up with whatever has came up. So, for example, a situation that's out of the blue, something you have to take care of. It may be stressful, but you can go back and do what you need to do and then get back to that place where it's like, okay, whew, that was a lot, but I did what I had to do, and so now I can move on and go back to my day-to-day. So I talked about stability and mental stability. So for me, this means peace because there's always going to be things going on. You're going to have highs and lows, even with your emotions and just in your day-to-day things. But as we encounter different people and we go through these things in our life, how can we maintain our sanity? How can we hold on to that joy? And then health. For a lot of women that I coach and that I work with, there's a lot of other things going on outside of stress and working on rediscovering who they are. There are medical conditions that can pop up. There's different things. So I don't know exactly what you may be dealing with specifically, but for a lot of women, there's a lot of things that go on, a lot of times under the radar, unnoticed, because going back to that being in service to others all the time, you can tend to ignore yourself, and your body or your mind or something has to break down in order for you to, go to the doctor or go talk to someone or go get the help that you need. And so to bring it all together, your well-being, your contentment, and your success, all three of those things are rolled up in joy. So there's one exercise that I want you to do. So what makes you laugh? What makes you happy? What makes you feel like you have the most peace? I want you to think about that. I want you to write it down. Whatever that thing is that makes you happy, that makes you laugh, makes you smile. I want you to write it down. And so here's a journal prompt for you that you can work on. This brings me joy because, and you can fill in the blank. And if it brings you joy, if this thing brings you joy, then focus on that. Whatever you're going through, it doesn't matter, good, bad, ugly, life, we're going to have different things going on. But if you can find that one thing that makes you happy, that is helpful to your well-being. Let me say that. It's helpful to your well-being. It brings you joy. It makes you happy. It makes you smile. It keeps you in a space where it's like, okay, I got to do what I got to do, but I can come back to that and I can be okay with that. I want you to hold on to that. I want you to journal about that thing and then start to incorporate it into your life. So this video is getting kind of long, but if you are in a space where you want to talk about joy and work on finding that well-being, that success, and that contentment for yourself, equaling joy in your life, and you want to do a deeper work, send me a message in Messenger on Facebook. I'll put the information below, but go ahead, send me a message. Let's talk about what things are looking like in your life and what you want them to look like. That's it for now. Be blessed, be well, and be empowered.